we're here with Jonas. Scoop this back a little bit. Abraham, do you want to kick it off with the question?
Yeah, Jonas, if you could just tell us what this international window has been like training with some of the players that aren't usually on the top of the lineup sheet.
Well, I think it's our philosophy every week and every training that we train with everyone, and everyone gets a lot of our attention and emphasis. But now, of course, we've had a lot of coaches to fewer players. So I mean, we could go deeper into details and just working through a little bit more thoroughly situations. And honestly, I think I enjoyed these weeks here. I haven't experienced these before because to be honest, like if I take Arsenal as an example, it was usually only one or two players. Back home, I had the same with my team in Sweden. So it's here it's a little bit more players, so that allows to having more of a training environment. So that's good.
And Seattle's been a team that the Wave have had trouble with in the past. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've seen from them and how you hope to attack their style?
I mean, they've been very defensively orientated, concede few goals. The games they play, it's generally involves fewer chances and fewer goals both scored and concede. So we have to be prepared against playing against one of the toughest team in the league in order to be able to break them down and expect to play against a very tough opponent.
Okay, and more?
Hi, Coach. Thank you for your time. I want to ask you about the goal scoring. The last season, the team had like 24 goals in the whole season, and now with 10 games played, you have 21. This big change, what can you say about that?
That it's nice. We're scoring goals. That's of course really important to us. As we've seen, it's been fairly good distributed in the squad. We have a lot of players contributing both with goals and assists, which I think speaks volume to the squad. And honestly, we just want to keep on going and developing our attacking play, and hopefully we can score a lot more goals this season.
And Coach, I want to ask you about the situation. I know that we are talking about your team, the Wave, but there is a situation, in San Diego that happened with the MLS and the San Diego Football Club. And I want to ask you, to you especially because you come from England, and you know the environment of the violence in the football soccer. And I really want to know your opinion about what can until what point can we get to if we stay with this kind of violence in order to prevent it, about the hooligans, this kind of ultras that maybe a lot coming from England. In order to prevent that, to get to that point, what can you say to the people, and what's the damage that this violence damage the sport, for saying?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I've been not so much in England, but when I was in Sweden working in men's football, but I've been experienced hostile situations both in the stadium and outside the stadium, which is unfortunately a part of the game there. And I think there is a non like a zero tolerance policy for against that here in San Diego, and I fully agree with that, because what it does create is an unsafe environment for our supporters and to come to the stadium. And it should, for me, be an event where everyone can feel welcome, where everyone can feel safe, where everyone can feel that they can go and enjoy themselves at the game. And for me, football should be about happiness. It should be about joy. I really like the approach that the club has there, and I think it's really important to keep on standing up for those values and that belief, because this belongs to everyone. and not just to a few.
Thank you so much.
Karthik?
Coach, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What would you say was the kind of clicking moment for this team to, rattle off these last 6 games that they have with 5 wins and a tie?
Our first game of the block against Kansas. I think it was like I think I got that game plan wrong. I think I know we had a very honest discussion after that, being like who we want to be as a team, who we are, what our strengths are, how we play to them, and I think we all felt after the Kansas game that we didn't get that right, and there's going to be a lot of even games in this league, and it's, of course, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but no matter what the result is, the performance has to reflect who you are. So you can look yourself in the mirror and said, we did everything we could, and we stay true to ourselves and what we believe in. And I really think we have been doing that since that game. And that's really important because that generates a lot of belief. Then there's been a lot of games with small margins, and we're humble. We know we need to work super hard for them. But from an identity perspective, we stay true to ourselves.
How do you go so quickly from we didn't get this right to all of a sudden be able to flip a switch to all of a sudden it seems like almost every game as of recent you've been getting it right?
Yeah, well, momentum is a big factor in team sports. So is self-confidence, and we know we're working with humans interacting with each other. So the butterfly effect is in place. So it's about sometimes you have to make the most out of the small actions, and every action matters. So I think we've stayed true with how we wanted to work since day one, and we learn and we grow from all opportunities that we have. And what has happened and what needs to continue to do is that we have a team that is ready to really work with that identity and want to embrace every second that they are on the pitch together. And if you are, then you're in a good place in order to compete for 3 points as well.
Kimmy has been playing really well over the last 5 games. For a 17-year-old to accomplish what she's been accomplishing, how crazy is that for you as a coach to witness what she's doing on the field right now?
Which one of the 17-year-olds were we talking about?
Kimmy.
Kimmy, yeah. No, she's been very good. I like that you see that as well. And I mean, no surprise for me because she do the same thing in training. Performs on a very high level, and to be honest, I think it's like we don't select players based on their age. It has to be based on their qualities and their competence, because the competition is so high in order to play. And I mean, what I think we need to continue to do, and I'm sure Kimmy will do that as well, is to keep the developing mindset. Because she has a lot of training weeks ahead of her in her career. So she needs to keep that motivation on fire, keep the joy in her game, and then attack every training session like it's the most important one. And then for sure she will develop even more in the future.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Jonas.
Thank you.
Thanks.